Part 4 of Pamphilia to Amphilanthus. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Elizabeth Klett, Houston, Texas, January 2008. Pamphilia to Amphilanthus by Lady Mary Wroth. Part 4. 11 Sonnets and 3 Songs. Sonnet 1. In night yet may we see some kind of light, when as the moon doth please to show her face, and in the sun's room yields her light and grace, which otherwise must suffer dullest night. So are my fortunes barred from true delight, cold and uncertain, like to this strange place, decreasing, changing in an instant space, and even at full of joy turned to despite. Justly on fortune was bestowed the weal, whose favours fickle and unconstant reel, drunk with delight of change and sudden pain, where pleasure hath no settled place of stay, but turning still, for our best hopes decay, and this, alas, we lovers often gain. 2. Love, like a juggler, comes to play his prize, and all minds draw his wonders to admire, to see how cunningly he, wanting eyes, can yet deceive the best sight of desire. The wanton child, how he can feign his fire so prettily, as none sees his disguise, how finely do his tricks, while we fools hire the badge and office of his tyrannies. For in the end such juggling he doth make, as he our hearts instead of eyes doth take. For men can only by their sleights abuse the sight with nimble and delightful skill. But if he play, his gain is our lost will, yet childlike we cannot his sports refuse. 3. Most blessed night, the happy time for love, the shade for lovers and their love's delight, the reign of love for servants free from spite, the hopeful seasons for joy's sports to move. Now hast thou made thy glory higher prove. Then did the god whose pleasant reed did smite all Argus eyes into a deathlike night, till they were safe, that none could love reprove. Now thou hast closed those eyes from prying sight that nourish jealousy more than joy's right, while vain suspicion fosters their mistrust, making sweet sleep to master all suspect, which else their private fears would not neglect, but would embrace both blinded and unjust. 4. Cruel suspicion, oh, be now at rest! Let daily torments bring to thee some stay. Alas, make not my ill thy easeful prey, nor give loose reins to rage when love's oppressed. I am by care sufficiently distressed. No rack can stretch my heart more, nor way can I find out, for least content to lay one happy foot of joy, one step that's blessed. But to my end thou fliest with greedy eye, seeking to bring grief by base jealousy. Oh, in how strange a cage am I kept in! No little sign of favour can I prove, but must be weighed and turned to wronging love, and with each humour must my state begin. 5. How many nights have I with pain endured, which as so many ages I esteemed, since my misfortune, yet no whit redeemed, but rather faster tied to grief assured. How many hours have my sad thoughts endured of killing pains, yet is it not esteemed by cruel love, who might have these redeemed in all these years of hours to joy assured? But fond child, had he a care to save, as first to conquer, this my pleasure's grave had not been now to testify my woe. I might have been an image of delight, as now a tomb for sad misfortune's spite, which love unkindly for reward doth show. 6. My pain, still smothered in my grieved breast, seeks for some ease, yet cannot passage find, to be discharged of this unwelcome guest. When most I strive, more fast his burdens bind. Like to a ship on good winds cast by wind, the more she strives, more deep in sand is pressed, till she be lost. So am I in this kind, sunk and devoured and swallowed by unrest, lost, shipwrecked, spoiled, debarred of smallest hope, nothing of pleasure left, save thoughts have scope, which wander may. Go then, my thoughts, and cry, hopes perished, love tempest beaten, joy lost, killing despair hath all these blessings crossed. Yet faith still cries, love will not falsify. 7. An end, fond jealousy! Alas, I know thy hiddenest and thy most secret art. Thou canst no new invention frame, but part I have already seen and felt with woe. All thy dissemblings, which by feigned show won my belief, while truth did rule my heart, I with glad mind embraced, and deemed my smart the spring of joy, whose streams with bliss should flow. I thought excuses had been reasons true, and that no falsehood could of thee ensue. So soon belief in honest minds is wrought. But now I find thy flattery and skill, which idly made me to observe thy will. Thus is my learning by my bondage bought. 8. Poor love in chains, and fetters like a thief I met led forth, has chased Diana's gain, vowing the untaught lad should no relief from her receive, who gloried in fond pain. She called him thief, with vows he did maintain he never stole, but some sad slight of grief had given to those who did his power disdain, in which revenge his honour was the chief. She said he murdered, and therefore must die. He that he caused but love, did harms deny. But while she thus discoursing with him stood, the nymphs untied him, and his chains took off, thinking him safe, but he, loose, made a scoff, smiling and scorning them, flew to the wood. 9. Pray do not use these words, I must be gone. Alas, do not foretell mine ills to come. Let not my care be to my joys a tomb, but rather find my loss with loss alone. Cause me not thus a more distressed one, not feeling bliss, because of this sad doom of present cross, for thinking will o'ercome and loose all pleasure, since grief breedeth none. Let the misfortune come at once to me, nor suffer me with grief to punished be. Let me be ignorant of mine own ill, then now with the foreknowledge quite to lose that which with so much care and pains love chose for his reward, but joy now, then mirth kill. 10. Folly would needs make me a lover be, when I did little think of loving thought, or ever to be tied, while she told me that none can live, but to these bands are brought. I, ignorant, did grant, and so was bought, and sold again to lovers' slavery. The duty to that vanity once taught, such band is, as we will not seek to free. Yet when I well did understand his might, how he inflamed and forced one to affect, I loved and smarted, counting it delight so still to waste, which reason did reject, when love came blindfold, and did challenge me. Indeed I loved, but wanton boy, not he. Song. The springtime of my first loving finds yet no winter of removing, nor frosts to make my hopes decrease, but with the summer still increase. The trees may teach us love's remaining, who suffer change with little paining. Though winter make their leaves decrease, yet with the summer they increase. As birds by silence show their mourning in cold, yet sing at spring's returning, so may love nipped awhile decrease, but as the summer soon increase. Those that do love but for a season do falsify both love and reason, for reason wills, if love decrease, it like the summer should increase. Though love sometimes may be mistaken, the truth yet ought not to be shaken, or though the heat awhile decrease, it with the summer may increase. And since the springtime of my loving found never winter of removing, nor frosts to make my hopes decrease, shall as the summer still increase. Song. Love a child is ever crying, please him, and he straight is flying. Give him, he the more is craving, never satisfied with having. His desires have no measure, endless folly is his treasure. What he promiseth, he breaketh, trust not one word that he speaketh. He vows nothing but false matter, and to cozen you he'll flatter. Let him gain the hand, he'll leave you, and still glory to deceive you. He will triumph in your wailing, and yet cause be of your failing. These his virtues are, and slighter are his gifts, his favours lighter. Feathers are as firm in staying, wolves no fiercer in their preying. As a child then leave him crying, nor seek him so given to flying. Being past the pains of love, freedom gladly seeks to move, says that love's delights were pretty, but to dwell in them 'twere pity. And yet truly says that love must of force in all hearts move, but though his delights are pretty, to dwell on them were a pity. Let love slightly pass like love, never let it too deep move, for though love's delights are pretty, to dwell in them were great pity. Love no pity hath of love, rather griefs than pleasures move, so though his delights are pretty, to dwell in them would be a pity. Those that like the smart of love, in them let it freely move, else though his delights are pretty, do not dwell in them for pity. Oh, pardon, Cupid, I confess my fault, then mercy grant me in so just a kind, for treason never lodged in my mind against thy might, so much as in a thought. And now my folly I have dearly bought, nor could my soul least rest or quiet find, since rashness did my thoughts to error bind, which now thy fury and my harm hath wrought. I curse that thought, and hand which that first framed, for which by thee I am most justly blamed. But now that hand shall guided be aright, and give a crown unto thy endless praise, which shall thy glory and thy greatness raise, more than these poor things could thy honour spite. End of Part 4.